Hey everybody, it's Barbara Ann. Welcome back to my channel, Straight Out of Context. Here's a live that Gypsy joined. Fair use disclaimer, because this is in the public domain, and TikTok gives third-party license to all lives automatically.
My mother didn't do it. My mother was my biggest enabler.
Did you catch that? Yeah, Gypsy Rose Blanchard says that her mother was her biggest enabler. Just like she says on season 2, episode 10, she had no responsibility, no job, nothing to hold her accountable. You mean prison for 8.5 years didn't hold you accountable? What?
And so, that being said, the people that I have around me, especially Ken don't put up with my bullshit. He will call me out. He will correct me. And I don't put up with his bullshit either. That's why we make a good pair, is because we don't sugarcoat it. We don't spare each other's feelings.
That doesn't prove or mean that your relationship is a healthy one. It doesn't prove that it's meant to be. It doesn't prove that you have chemistry or you're right for each other. In fact, quite the opposite. The fact that you guys do that to each other show that there is a lack of chemistry and a lack of real compatibility between her and Ken. But it's my own opinion that Gypsy probably won't be compatible with most people because she's not in a place where she should be in a relationship or marriage. Just look at her lies, her manipulation, her continuous negating, deflecting, and projecting of her behavior. She's not in a healthy place to even be a mother, in my opinion.
If we want us to grow as individuals, we will tell each other how it is. So I was like, I never had anyone to hold me accountable. And that is the type of mindset that I have. So if I have a lack of accountability for things, I am working on it. I am going to work on it in therapy.
So that begs the question, why didn't she do therapy for 8.5 years in prison? Nobody is denied therapy or mental health services in Chillicothe Women's Correctional Facility. Why is she not utilizing a psychiatrist and actually trying to be honest with the psychiatrist and therapist and trying to rehabilitate herself? Why isn't she trying to genuinely overcome all of the things that she wants to tell the public are in her past? So there's a disconnect between what she's trying to sell us as a victim story and what is really going on, according to her, between her and her own therapist, like the fact that she's lying to her therapist about having postpartum depression. See my previous video for all the receipts and all of the screenshots proving that.
But I want you to know that, my heart is in this relationship. It always has been. And I thank you for holding me accountable for the things that I've done wrong. And I won't always be in this stage of my life. I will grow from this. And I think that we have a strong relationship. We have a strong foundation.
Insert here.
Girlfriend would be mad about that. Find all this stuff, and then whenever he was asleep and his phone was right there, I had grabbed his phone and I was looking at something, and the moment I opened it up, it's a picture of him and her.
That's when he was comparing.
That's whenever he was like, why are you upset? And I'm like, because you still have all these pictures. I didn't want to see her in a bra. I didn't want to see y'all kissing. That hurts. And I'm like, how do you even, why do you still have that on your phone? We've weathered a lot of storms together. The divorce process was not easy. Going through this stuff with Ryan was not easy. We were together for 2 years while I was in prison. I got through my time, and then we got back together. Everything happened very fast. So to Dreamer's point and Sheena's point, yeah, and Bree's point, it's a completely different relationship now.
The only thing that is different is that you fucked up a marriage and you fucked up your relationship with Ken because you got pregnant right away. You were impulsive. You were erratic. You did not think about the consequences or the results of your actions, choices, words, and behaviors on other people. And you brought a baby into the world. That same exact choice, action, words, and behaviors is now your own trap. And you're not going to be able to wiggle your way out of this one like you did a whole entire murder conviction.
And I'm going to make mistakes. He's going to make mistakes. I wasn't sitting pretty looking pretty on this last episode. But remember the first episode, everybody was hating on Ken for that Tana scene. neither one of us are perfect, but there's room for growth.
Let me start off by reminding everybody that Gypsy Rose Blanchard is going to be 34 very, very soon. And if she hasn't had actual change and growth in 34 years, then nothing is going to ever change her. This is the core and the foundation of who she is in every single capacity. It takes a lot of work for anybody to really face their own reflection, to face who they really are, and to get help, and to actually work on it. But we know that sociopaths, psychopaths, and narcissists, people with cluster B personality disorders, they're incapable of doing it because it goes against the very innate, ingrained sense of their self-being. It runs contrary to their ego, their psychological egoism, their sense of they are better than everybody else, that they are entitled, spoiled, that they have this privilege and white female privilege that other people don't innately have. This is something that she arguably should have worked on over 10 years ago, and we should be seeing the results of her having worked on that today, not her constant lack of accountability, responsibility, and consequence.
You know what, Gypsy? I'm on my third marriage, and I think I finally got the person that you're describing that Ken is for you.
Mm-hmm.
I finally got
All
that
right,
person.
Bayou
And
boy. All right, Bayou boy.
it took me 3 tries, Gypsy. It took me 3 tries to get the person that matches my energy, calls me out on my shit, like everything like that.
It doesn't matter. It still does not condone, justify, reason, and if or but away her accountability, her responsibility for what she has done to other people, to other good humans, to other decent human beings. And no, just because she's not with the right person doesn't give her the right to pretend like she's in love and tell somebody she loves them for almost 3 years, lying to them the whole way.
Like we tell each other, we that
That's
for each other.
important. As supportive as Ken is, he's also going to call you out, but that is being supportive. A real friend, a real partner, a real anything is going to call you out, when need be. Just
It's
like you
needed.
would. Why?
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is 34 years old. It is not her boyfriend, nor her dad, nor her stepmother, nor her half-siblings, or a husband. It's not their job to hold her accountable. It's her job to grow the fuck up and hold herself accountable. Anybody who truly loved and cared about her would tell her that she needs to literally see a psychiatrist and that she needs to play a positive and proactive role utilizing that psychiatry and that therapy for her benefit. Anybody telling her any less than that, coddling her ass, is not caring for her. You guys are using her for clout. You're using her infamy for clout, her celebrity and public figure status for clout. And I dare anybody to take an FBI or an FBI trained lie detector test to prove it.
I tell you what, I lost a husband, I lost a boyfriend. Honey, she's on retirement.
Wait, what?
She's on retirement.
You don't want her to repeat it.
Blech. Blech. Oh my goodness. I can't even. Yeah, I think it should be retired. Especially that one. Ugh.
And she said,
Y'all like Dreamer in her 304 era with those TikTok duets of those men?
be in her 304 era. You got that right. Dream.
I may be in retirement. Doesn't mean I don't
girl.
notice a good-looking man now.
That's right. I do want to add that for all the people, who watch the show and judge, none of us could say if we had cameras in our cars, in our houses, following us around, that we would be perfect at all moments, at all times. We all are human after.
but that is her choice. That is literally her contract and her choice. She is the one who decided in 2022 to do the prison confessions of GYPSY Rose Blanchard. She's the one who decided to do Life After Lockup, all the interviews, Life After Lockup Season 2. She's the one that decided to sign the contracts, to do social media, all of it, even though it runs contrary and contradictory to her supposed mental health. Girl, that is a personal choice that she made. Nobody forced her to do that. So her being imperfect and being judged, she's always going to be judged. She's a convicted murderer.
Bro.
Glory, you can say whatever you want with me. I tell you what, you can kiss my lily white ass.
Wow. Dreaming on touch. She said what she said.
Period, poo.
Period,
You know,
poo.
we all deserve grace, and you are having to play catch up, Gypsy, with things that we learned in our teens and
said what she
early
said.
20s, and you deserve grace. And I left Louisiana thinking, this girl is beautiful, kind,
Dreaming on
sweet,
touch.
giving, and all the people that want to judge and throw hate that have never spoken a word to you are so missing out on who you are, and it is their loss.
It really is. You know, I was
It
just
is.
thinking that the other day. Like, I don't think people realize how transparent Gypsy is. And if they never wanted to, if they would never, you know, just, she came out and people just started just being horrible to her. And it doesn't matter what she did or said coming out. Like, I guarantee you, Gypsy would probably be doing lives where people are coming in here asking the hard questions, like, really, like, hard questions for her to answer. And I guarantee you she would have been in those lives answering it. Because since day one, before I even really knew Gypsy that well, I was kind of scared to ask her a question one day. And I think she could tell, because I remember you telling me before I got the phone call with you, hey, Brie, I want to tell you, don't ever be afraid to ask me anything, you know? And she made me, like, she reassured that, and she made me not feel, you know, worried. So from then on, I was able to ask her that. And eventually,
This is another narrative that Gypsy has tried saying after giving birth, is that she will talk to anybody. She will answer any questions. Not true. On November 16th of 2024, she had her baby shower. At the same exact day and time, another creator posted that she and Ken had officially split up, that they broke up. And I reached out to her for comment to verify or corroborate, and she refused to respond, despite the fact that I had two sources, one of which ran into Gypsy the night before, and another who attended the baby shower, who told me that they were not split up, or it didn't appear that they were split up. And I can go back to my TikTok and I can resave those exact videos where I say, I don't think this is true. I show exactly my sources, and there was another source who commented that she knew. I wasn't able to vet or verify or corroborate her statement, though. I do show it. So that is a lie. Gypsy does not answer the hard questions, nor does she let other, even smaller content creators do interviews with her if they're not favorable, or she doesn't have a list of the questions pre-submitted. And then she runs it by Mike Stanfield, her public defender turned manager.
once we grew a friendship, I was like, I don't even want to ask those questions anymore. It doesn't matter to me, you know, the answers for these things. But yeah, like, I think that Gypsy, like, we could have gotten so much more out of Gypsy. I don't mean that in like a using a way, but we could have gotten, you know, people are curious, like, to how it was like to have a life like that. And it's also important because there are people all around us who are in situations that we need to know those red flags. It's important to, and being able to hear Gypsy speak and be transparent about that experience, which people want to say she adds, is that no, Gypsy has never said everything that she's ever gone through. It would take probably her whole life to do that because it's so much. So just imagine if we would have never.
Here's the thing. Gypsy's story does not trump anybody else's story. She's not my public figure. She's not my celebrity. She's certainly not somebody I would adhere to, want to be friends with, nor would I want to associate with her. She's a convicted murderer. She's a narcissist. She's a sociopath. She's absolutely psychopathic in everything she says and does. She is not our role model, nor will she ever be an idol or somebody to look up to as far as victims and survivors. Her alleged, unproven story does not trump my story, my survivalism, nor any of you beautiful people that are here in the community who some of have shared with me their stories.
Society as a whole wouldn't have had a Sky, go on McCall, okay, wouldn't have done what they did to Gypsy, treated her like a piece of shit. Just imagine the conversations that people could have had with Gypsy. And I promise you, she would have been transparent because I know Gypsy. And it sucks because I think we missed out on a lot of what Gypsy had to offer because people, it's a societal problem, like, period. Like, that's what it is.
I feel like the same thing's going to happen to the Menendez brothers when they come out. Everybody's going to be...
Men do get treated differently, though, but I hope
Yeah,
they
that's
don't.
true. I mean,
But I do hope.
There she goes, mentioning the Menendez brothers again. She wasn't even alive when their crime happened. I was. And I've done 2 videos talking about their resentencing. This is their press release. And I also speak on their actual words from the transcript of what they stood up in court and said yesterday. They took full accountability and responsibility for their lies, their actions, and their crimes, going back from yesterday, 35 years prior, when it happened. Eric and Lyle Menendez both made statements apologizing to the legal system, to society, to their family, to other inmates, to prison officials, to legal officials, judges, lawyers, advocates, for having lied, for verbatim, quote, making a mockery of the legal system, unquote, and telling horrific lies about a victim story and narrative that doesn't exist. And they owned it. And they finally came clean.
Not.
but I feel like society is going to do that. Like, I feel like they're going to have that adjustment period where they are kind of like adjusting to the new cars, the new electronics.
And they're going to be in the media.
Yeah, exactly. It's
They
like
will.
they were famous family, rich family before they went in, and they're coming out famous
And
already.
rich.
And so, they're going to be approached for interviews, and, a lot of people are going to watch and support. And then they're going to step back and be like, well, they're murderers, so why are we supporting them again? And the same cycle that happened to me is going to happen
It's so
to them.
sad.
Again, not comparable. She's jealous because they are going to get much more attention, and they have in the past 35 years than she can ever dream of. They finally came clean and told the truth yesterday. GYPSY Rose Blanchard herself has yet to tell the truth. But then again, there's nobody holding her accountable for her lies and bullshit except for us content creators and most of society who can see right through her.
And it's sad.
I felt from you an openness. I felt that I didn't have to watch what I say, and I'm not good at doing that. Of course, certain things I would never say or ask because it's really probably not ever going to be my business. But I mean, in other things, I felt like I could just be me around you, and I like that. And I also, and I don't like speaking on your baby. It makes me very uncomfortable, but I will say, I saw how you adore her, and I saw how she adores you. And for a first-time mother, you are doing a phenomenal job, a beautiful job. You really
Thank
are.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Because I want to say I'm so sorry that you didn't get justice. That's not okay that you weren't able to get justice before they passed away. Because to me, someone passing away and never being held accountable is not justice.
GYPSY being free and Nicholas Godejohn not being free and his mother not being here is not justice either. Her mother not being here is not justice. There never will be justice for that.
So I'm sorry that you
I agree with that one commenter. Is when you go live, you got mods, but you need more.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting better, though. It's getting better. Sometimes she goes live and she don't be telling nobody. And we're like,
I know. I'm like, wait a minute.
hold on, Gypsy's out there with the wolves. Hurry up, hurry up.
Well, you know why that? It's because it's so hard to go live on Mondays because it's like I can't snap my fingers and Aurora go to bed.
Right.
I can't because Bree, you and I were on our live 2-3 Mondays ago or whatever it was, and somebody was criticizing how I burped her. I'm like, I was
when you
2
put your
inches
hand
from
like
the
this,
phone.
and like,
Literally, no one cares. And if you're that hated, then get the fuck off the internet. Why are you on the internet? Because you're always going to be the most hated. You killed people. You took 3 lives, and then you continuously defame, slander, libel, and lie about it. With the help of every single person enabling you on this panel because they want your clout your clicks, your views. You know why? We call that posers, losers, sellouts. Isn't that what that is? Riding the coattails of the only person they know that has some kind of attention.
You burped, you're fine.
Exactly.
Like, it's gonna make.
And burps are way harder than I do. The fuck?
Like, babies can take a lot, but she was not. I was right next to her. It's how how you hold your hand. Like, it's gonna sound. People.
And it was right by the phone too. I was right off camera, and it was right by the phone. So, but this woman was like, yeah, and then put the headline as she's hitting her baby. What the fuck? Like, I was burping her. If I didn't burp her, y'all would have said something about that.
And guess
too.
what? That baby burped, and she had a big old smile on her face. She was like, "Thank you, mama." Whoa.
Right.
I need to get out of my belly.
So I get a lot of anxiety about doing lives on Mondays because it's like I don't know what the situation with Aurora is going to be. So whenever I do spontaneously go live, it happens to be when she is taking a nap. And I have those few, 30 minutes or whatever to spare to do a live.
Right. I know.
Well-
I need to put. I feel like my notifications never work. I never see when anyone goes. But But one thing about Gypsy, even though yes, we need more, we need people. Like, the thing is, I don't think people realize this. Gypsy is strong as fuck. Look, I was in her live, and I see comments about me, and I get used to them and stuff. But the comments about her are that's a whole different level than mine. Mine are just more like bullying, like appearance, stuff like that. Where hers, it goes so deep, it goes into her trauma, like her life, and I'm like. She just gets up and does the damn thing every single day still. She's a strong queen, okay? Get a babysitter for her.
Exactly right, because I tell you what.
That's easier said than done, to just get a babysitter. Just shove him, bring him to the next door neighbor, be like, here, watch her.
You know what I have to do?
I had to go...
I have to have them sign an NDA. I gotta make sure they ain't gonna take pictures of her. I gotta make sure that they're not gonna mistreat her. Like, there's a lot to it.
Girl, yeah, you're not just gonna hand your baby over to anyone. Trust me, the bad idea.
With my first son, my mom was like giving him a bath, and I'm like, "You're manhandling."
Except she did, Sky. Except she did, Sky. Except she did. Fuck off. Bye.
God, why is she so aggressive and so violent verbally? Oh man, no wonder why she's friends with GYPSY Rose Blanchard. I mean, she likes to stab somebody 17 times and nearly decapitate them. So I don't know. She's matching her vibe for sure with that aggression.
I think Gypsy is very, very strong. I don't think I could have gone through what Gypsy did and survived and been as strong as she has been going through what she did. There's no way. I would not have been resolved.
I'm brave. Me.
But anywho, I was like, I'm scared to break him. My mom was like, "You're not going to break him. He likes it. It stimulates him." And so to think that you're hitting her, burping her, man, you should have seen my mom with my firstborn. She was just like, and it just freaked me out. So people are crazy. Old school
somebody
mamas
said this?
did a lot worse.
Somebody said, "Take it from this mom, you will always be judged."
Kindness is
Us
free.
moms
You
are
know what?
ripped
You can take a hike.
So somebody said, "Take it from this mom, you will always be judged. Us moms are ripped constantly by judgy moms." Oh my God. Look, I'm not a mom. Hopefully one day I will be. If not, I got my nephews and my niece, which I love so much. But I always say that's one thing I'm not missing out on when it comes to being a mother is the community of mothers. Oh my God. When I say that the most toxic people in the world are mothers towards other mothers.
Wow, again, so negative. Look at Gypsy and Dee Dee's apartment when Hurricane Katrina hit. Yet they had a female doctor who knew them, who actually life flighted them to Springfield, Missouri, and then they get an entire house. Same doctor is present, and you can find the news clippings for this. Yet a lot of these people are moms coming to support another mom with a very sick child. Who, according to her, she was never sick. She was perfectly healthy. But she says she knew she can walk. Her family in Prison Confessions of GYPSY Rose Blanchard says that they knew she could walk. Because up until her preteen years, she was walking.
I don't get it. I do not get that. It's so sad to me. It's a woman thing in general, but especially mothers. how a mother to go, just like that post that Gypsy, when she was the colleague, which somebody sent me a post and I didn't see it till later. I wish I would have sent it to you. It was so positive, because you know what? I've seen people do that before, where their baby's crying and like, you know, they go online and so many people are in the comments giving them advice. I see that happen. And then you do it. And then it's like, oh my God, you're such a horrible mom. But there were people out there that did make videos giving you advice. And like those people are angels, because that's how it should be. Like, I don't know what it is about moms. Not all of y'all, but some of y'all are some judgy ass motherfuckers. Like, oh my God, that's one thing I'm not missing out on, is the community of mothers, because y'all are mean to each other and y'all shouldn't be. It's sad. Y'all know what it's like. But do your thing. Do your thing, Chicken Wing.
I don't know Brie, but I've always given her the benefit of a doubt. And I've always said she seems like a very devout and loyal friend, but it comes at the expense of everybody else, all 8 billion other human beings, for the one, GYPSY Rose Blanchard, the convicted murderer. And I always had a soft spot for Ryan. But recently I started to really reevaluate that. And really, even just through my own experience for 8 months and all the things that I've seen and heard, it's just, wow, not anymore. Not anymore.
And I want to clarify this because a lot of people are missing it. A lot of people are saying this for me. Gypsy has not personally bullied me. I mean, I do believe she's part of the reporting because she is stealing my content. That she has done, and I do have proof of that. But she is using Katie Joy and Bree to do it for her.
Hey Bree, I'm gonna get out so I can make my coffee and wake up. We're gonna be taking Aurora to go see my great grandma. She's Momo Manny.
Oh,
She's like 90.
Wait, what? Somebody said, I don't care about her being a mom. I care about her playing 2 guys against each other. It's weird. No, it's weird that you even care about that. That's not what's happening. But it's weird for you to even care about somebody else's relationship. Sweetheart, hot mess mom, that is weird. Okay, you're goofy.
Is that your dad's side of the family, Gypsy?
Yeah, it's my dad's grandmother.
Your dad's grandmother. Well, that sounds fun.
Wow.
She sounds just like me. Like, we always say that I get my voice from her.
Oh,
because,
I've
like,
heard
she
that.
literally sounds like
No, it is
me,
weird to care that much
but,
about
like,
it. It's weird.
older.
It doesn't
How old
matter
is
if
she,
it's on TV.
Gypsy?
It's so weird.
90.
Wow.
Girl, you
Yeah, she
literally
said-
sound like a man. Oh my God, Sammy, you literally. Oh wait, never mind. You're a mouse. Yeah, we have a mouse in the chat. They're a mouse. I've seen their profile picture. They're a mouse.
Squeaky, squeaky. All right, I'm
Look
dropping
like
out.
my phone.
Bye, guys.
I still kind of have his
Bye,
horse
Gypsy.
voice.
Have a good day, girl.
Have fun.
Thanks.
Gypsy, you're a good mom.
Thanks.
Just
We love
follow
you.
your
Love
instincts.
you
You
guys.
won't go wrong.
Thanks.
Love,
Bye.
love to you.
Have fun.
Still kinda? Your voice is always like that, Brie. Girl, for real, stop smoking. Take care of yourself. These two, though. These two. Something else. Anyway, subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and share.